God, where were you when I was suicidal? God, why did you give me bipolar? God, why now? Why me? As a Christian, if there's one thing I learned, is that God will never instruct me to die. I believe God allowed bipolar into my life so I can one day share my story of hope to others who may be going through similar things to me. My name is Suzanne, and this is my story. When I am unwell, I hear voices. The voices can be inside or outside my head, can be a female or male voice, or even a child's voice. They sometimes tell me I'm not worthy, that I'm not enough. The voices are always negative, and sometimes they tell me to hurt myself and do something bad to myself. But I challenge these voices. When they tell me I am not worthy, I challenge them with I am worthy. When they say I am not enough, I challenge them with I am enough. I remember my first encounter with mental health. It was when I was 14. I had panic attacks and I was always crying. I tried to end my life, but luckily I didn't succeed. I didn't seek professional help until 5 years later, when I was 19, because I was told that I just needed to move on and be stronger. Although my parents divorced when I was 6 years old, I never was abused in any way. My upbringing wasn't that bad. So instead, my grandparents raised me and taught me the important values of a Vietnamese person. My grandpa is a big pillar in my life. And I remember when he found out I was depressed, he went to his GP and asked the doctor to print out Vietnamese fact sheets on depression. I was so moved that this man took some time and made efforts to educate himself more about mental illnesses. I have done a few radio interviews with SBS Vietnamese, and I shared that there's still a lot of stigma around mental illnesses in the Vietnamese community. I said I wanted to set an example that a Vietnamese person can overcome mental illnesses and openly share their own story without feeling ashamed and stigmatized by it. Because in the past, there was a time I was ashamed that I had an illness. I thought I wasn't strong enough and I did not want to talk about it. I believe in being vulnerable and sharing one's story in mental health to help and inspire others. But what does it mean to me when I'm vulnerable in a dangerous way? For example, I was vulnerable when I first met my ex-partner at a club. I was very vulnerable, and I found myself filing a DV against him for rape only a few months into the relationship. The blame was put back on me, and it was my fault that I chose this band and got raped. I learned a lot about myself through these experiences. I survived the DV experience, and I came out stronger because of it. At the age of 19, I'm 30 now, I found myself admitted to the mental health psychiatric ward at Princess Alexandra Hospital for the first time. I was bizarre and psychotic. I couldn't eat, I couldn't shower, I couldn't talk about what I was experiencing at the time. I was on involuntary treatment order and couldn't have a say in my recovery and mental health. I was forced to have medications. I stayed in the psychiatric ward for 3 months, my longest admission to date. I have tried a lot of medications in my life, from risperidone, lithium, sodium valproate, and now I'm taking clozapine and a Bipolar injection. Clozapine changed my life. I have been on this powerful medication, if I remember right, almost over 2 years now. This medication helps me sleep at least 10 hours a night, and it has a sedating effect for me after taking it. I become drowsy after taking it, and as you may know, the sleeping pattern for people with mental illnesses is really important. For some people, getting 10 hours of sleep is a lot, but for me, to be in working order, I need this amount of sleep to function. After being on clozapine, I can properly carry out all my activities of daily living each day. I cook, I clean, I maintain my full-time work each day. I have a reason to get out of bed every day, and I feel motivated to reach my short-term and long-term goals in life. I know that my mental illness is a chemical imbalance in my body, so I really believe in these medications. In the past, I have been diagnosed with clinical depression, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, as well as inattentive type ADHD. But the diagnosis that I feel I resonate with most is bipolar disorder type 1. What are my warning signs when I'm unwell? I feel depressed. I hear voices. I have poor sleeping patterns. I talk really fast. I have racing thoughts. And I spend lots of money. What has my mental illness taught me about life though? 1. It will get better in time. Not all medications that is trial will work the very first time we're trying. There's many trials and errors. The right combination of medications will come with time. Not all friendship and relationships will work out. There will be fallouts. The one who truly cares will stay. They are the key people in my life who encourages me, brings the best out of me, and accepts me for who I am. 2. Telling my mental health story becomes easier to share. At first, I was stigmatized by my story and felt my story wasn't good enough, and some people have it worse than me. But as time passes, I learned that I am a person who is beautiful and unique. I stand for positive mental health and want to continue breaking the mental health stigmas confidently, honestly, and openly. 3. One quality friendship is always better than 600 Facebook friends. Having a mental illness, not everyone will stay and get me in life. It is always better to have 1 or 2 quality friendships where they will walk alongside in my most vulnerable states and journey. It's much better than having 600 superficial friendships. Will everyone be there for me when I'm in the darkest moments? Will they understand? Or will they just tell me to snap out of it? No, I don't want superficial friendships. To say the least, having bipolar has helped me weed out the fake friends too. I know who is there for me when I need it most. Over the years of being a Christian, I also received stigma in the Christian community. When my Christian friends found out I had bipolar, some told me I needed to pray harder and believe in God more. These were unfelt, helpful comments, and I found myself leaving this particular church sometime after because I couldn't deal with stigma and judgments. Although I don't go to church every Sunday, I believe in the power of prayer. I pray every day. I pray for my friends and family when they're having a hard time. I feel I've received some healing in believing in God. During those moments of doubt or suicide thoughts, I call out for God for peace, calmness, and strength, and it works. I feel more spiritually connected to God when I do this. In 2017, I was admitted to CCU, Community Care Unit, a mental health rehabilitation place at Coorparoo. I was there for almost 2 years. And there, I learned how to cook, how to clean, how to budget, how to socialize, and most importantly, how to deal with those voices. It was probably the best and worst times in my life because dealing with voices when I was unwell was really hard, as well as trying to keep on top of cleaning and cooking myself on those bad days. During my second year of stay at CCU, I was offered a place in social housing at Macrobat. I was really lucky that I only had to wait 3 months or so to get a place. I stayed there for 2 years and maintained my place in a good condition. One of my favorite strategies is doing positive affirmations. Every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, I am worthy, I am beautiful, I am capable. Sometimes I even look at myself in the mirror and say these things. Other strategies include DBT, dialectical behavior therapy. My favorite skills to use are opposite action, mindfulness, and checking the facts as well as tip skills. I take medications for bipolar every night. Doing cognitive behavioral therapy with my psychologist has been helpful too. I'm also an artist. I use art as therapy and find comfort and calmness in doing abstract acrylics art. I have been lucky enough to exhibit some of my paintings at exhibitions. I have attempted a lot of studies in the past, whether it's doing a certificate or bachelor degree. I don't have any degrees under my belt. In my second year of a nursing degree, I was excluded from nursing for continuous academic failures. Back then, I thought I was the biggest failure in my life and was ashamed to my family. But I learned that even though I failed a lot in my degree, I wouldn't be able to make a story out of it, but didn't. Although I have been successful in my studies, I was always a hard worker, and I believe in not giving up in finding purpose in my life. When I was younger, I worked as a waitress, a personal support worker, showering and taking care of clients with spinal cord injuries, as well as working for Colette and David Jones. I believe and did not want to be sitting on a disability support pension all my life and doing nothing for the rest of my life. I wanted to give back in a meaningful way, and so I embarked on a journey in hope I'll get a job in mental health. Halfway through in doing a certificate in mental health and peaceful work, I was offered a job as a peaceful worker. I am a living example that one can succeed and smash goals in life. I want to end the stigma around mental illnesses. People with mental illnesses can also lead a normal life, whatever what normal means to them. I entered a beauty pageant several years ago. I was size 14, and I was the largest girl in the group. All the other girls were size 6 to 8. I entered this pageant not just to win it, but set an example for younger girls that anyone can enter pageants and do modelling if that is their ultimate goals in life. Any size, shape, skin colour, anyone really, to enter into the modelling world and build and have confidence. After the pageant, some photos from the pageant were posted online. I received some trolls, negative comments on my photos. One person saying, "Sumo," and another saying, "Why did she enter the pageant? She is too fat." I took these comments personally and couldn't ignore them. I started to ponder that I was too fat for the pageant, etc. My experience with trolls, dealing with trolls, did not end there. I have a mental health YouTube channel, and I had my first share of negative comments. One saying, "I hope you die from depression," and another saying, "You're the ugliest sack of shit I ever seen." But on the contrary, my life changed when I received a different comment. "I was going to end my life today, but I saw your video and I didn't." This was a turning point for me in my life. If I could help and save lives from sharing my story, change and influence lives in a positive way, why not? I use these negative comments as a ladder to help me reach my utmost goals in life. It doesn't matter how many times I fall down when hearing these negative comments. It's about how many times I get up. I am a fashion blogger too. I love attending fashion events. I love dressing up, over the top. When I meet someone new at an event, I say, "Hi, I'm Suzanne. I'm a mental health fashion blogger. I share my story about being diagnosed with bipolar and what I do to overcome it using my social media platforms." It's my favourite elevator pitch. My life also changed when I was approved for the National Disability Insurance Scheme. I got a really good package. My support coordinator is amazing too. The NDIS paid for all my specialised driving lessons. It helped build my confidence in driving, as in the past I had 2 car accidents and was traumatised and couldn't drive for many years. All the exercise physiology classes, as well as my psychology and counselling appointments, are all paid for through the NDIS too. I feel very grateful, blessed, and lucky to have this package. Not everyone gets the application approved the first time like me. And now, I am living in private rental. I'm working full-time in mental health as a mental health peaceful worker. I teach art to adults with mental health issues. I exercise 3 to 4 times a week. I'm a fur mum to a beautiful cat named Riley, as well as driving on an Opens license and have my own car. I'm very self-aware about myself mentally, emotionally. I haven't always been this way, and it's taken years to build up my confidence and trialing what works and what doesn't work. And yes, my mental illness is my superpower. I share my story in an impactful way, and talking openly, confidently, and no longer ashamed of my bipolar diagnosis. I tell and remind myself that recovery is not linear, it's up and down. And there will be some days that I'm not okay, and that's perfectly okay. I will not give up the fight with mental illnesses. Yes, I have had setbacks and relapses, but it's not about how many times I fall, again saying this, but the amount of times I get back up. Although I look normal to a lot of people, I still have to acknowledge that I have a mental health disease, that I need to take medication for the rest of my life. I won't stop fighting the stigma around mental illnesses. I'd like to conclude and end with these 2 phrases. If not me, who? If not now, when? Thank you.